90%. Written by itself, 19% slower, and they didn't know it. 6 levels, most teams stuck at 2. 5 skills that don't expire. In this video, 2 frameworks. One tells you where you are, the other tells you what to do about it. 90% of Claude code was written by Claude Code itself. The engineer who leads the project hasn't hand-edited a single line of code since November. But a rigorous randomized control trial found that experienced developers using AI tools took 19% longer to complete tasks. The same developers thought they were 24% faster. They were wrong, not just about the magnitude, about the direction. Same industry, same planet. 2 completely different realities. There are 2 worlds coexisting in software development right now. Most developers don't know which one they're actually in. This video gives you the framework to find out and what to do from there. Let's look at that 19% figure. METR, Model Evaluation and Threat Research, ran a proper randomized control trial in 2025. 16 experienced developers, 246 real tasks on large, mature codebases. Tools: Cursor Pro with Claude 3.5 and 3.7 Sonnet. Result: 19% slower on average. But here's what should unsettle you. Those developers thought they were 20% faster. They were wrong about the size of the effect and about the direction. That gap between perception and reality isn't a flaw in the study. It is the finding. This isn't a tool problem. It's a workflow problem. Here's the framework that makes the rest of this video click. Dan Shapiro published it in January 2026. The 5 levels from spicy autocomplete to the dark factory. 6 tiers, level 0 through level 5. Here's where most developers get honest about which one they're actually at. Level 0, manual. You type the code. AI suggests the next line, a faster tab key. Level 1, assisted. You write the important parts. AI handles discrete tasks, unit tests, docstrings, modest gains. Level 2, paired programming. You hand off the boring work and stay in flow. Shapiro estimates 90% of self-described AI native developers are right here. Level 3, human in the loop. You stop writing code. You review diffs. The model submits pull requests. Most teams top out here. Level 4, autonomous execution. You write a spec. You leave. You come back and check if the tests pass. You're not really a developer anymore. You're a product manager. Level 5, the dark factory. Spec goes in. Working software comes out. No human writes the code, no human reviews it. What does level 5 look like in production? StrongDM, a security access management company, has been running a dark factory since July 2025. 3 engineers. 2 rules. Code shall not be written by humans. Code shall not be reviewed by humans. Their entire agent attractor is a GitHub repository with 0 lines of code. Just 3 markdown spec files. You hand it to Claude Code. It reads the specs, it builds the software. To stop AI from gaming its own tests, they store behavioral specifications outside the codebase. The agent never sees them during development. Same concept as a holdout dataset in machine learning. This is the direct answer to the claim that AI will just optimize for passing its tests. They also build behavioral clones of every external service. Simulated Okta, simulated Jira, simulated Slack. Full integration testing without touching a single production API. Output: 16,000 lines of Rust, 9,500 lines of Go, 6,700 of TypeScript. Production security software. It ships. Why are 90% of developers still at level 2? There's a pattern called the J-curve. When you bolt AI onto an existing workflow, productivity actually dips before it rises. Sometimes for weeks, sometimes for months. It's like putting a new engine in a car with an old transmission. The gears grind. Most organizations hit the bottom of that curve, interpret it as proof the tools don't work, and revert. They never make it to the upswing. 3 blockers keep teams stuck. First, legacy code bases with no test coverage. You can't hand a 10-year-old monolith to an autonomous agent on day 1. That's a precondition failure, not a tool failure. Second, teams that misread the dip. Slowing velocity looks like evidence AI doesn't work, not evidence the workflow is in transition. And third, spec debt. The brutal discovery that your requirements have always been imprecise, and AI just makes it visible. The teams that cross the J-curve redesign everything. How they write specs, how they verify output, how their CI/CD pipeline works. Most organizations don't have the stomach for it. Wait, 91% of solo AI builders quit within 3 months. But not this group. Over 1,000 builders. Daily hangouts where you debug together. Weekly workshops that actually level you up. A full agentic coding course. 72 lessons, 12 modules. From zero to shipping multi-agent systems. People share projects, brainstorm ideas, help each other in real time. This is where AI builders actually make it. Link in description, 10% off. Join us. Back to the video now. We've seen the 2 worlds. We've walked the 6 levels. We've seen the dark factory running in production. Here's where it hits closest to home. What this means for your career specifically. Because the gap between those 2 worlds isn't just a company problem. It's a personal one. Stanford's Digital Economy Lab analyzed ADP payroll data across tens of thousands of companies. For software developers aged 22 to 25, employment has fallen nearly 20% from its late 2022 peak. That's actual headcount. People who were hired and now are not. In the UK, graduate tech hiring fell 46% year on year. Here's the structural problem. The career ladder in software has always worked one way. Juniors learn by doing. Simple features, small bug fixes, immersion in the codebase over 5 to 7 years. AI handles those tasks now. Seniors at the top, AI at the bottom. The middle, where learning used to happen, is hollowing out. On the other side of that J-curve, a new template is emerging. Cursor, the AI native code editor, has over $1 billion in annual recurring revenue with roughly 300 employees. That's $3.3 million in revenue per employee versus $600,000 for the average SaaS company, 5 times more efficient. In YC's Winter 2025 cohort, 25% of startups have code bases that are 95% or more AI generated. Every one of those founders could write the code themselves. They're choosing not to. What does this org look like? Small team. Deep understanding of what users need. Precise specifications. AI handles implementation. No sprints, no stand-ups, no Jira. Just specs and outcomes. Now you have the framework. Here's what it means for you specifically. If you're early in your career, lean into AI hard. Don't use it as a crutch. Use it as a collaborator you have to verify. The engineers getting hired right now are generalists who pick up problems across wide domains. Go broad, not deep. Learn to write clear problem statements, not just prompts. Learn to break large problems into specifiable units. That is the skill now. If you're mid-level or senior, the bar isn't going down. It's going up, to where staff and principal engineers used to sit. Your value is no longer code output. It's judgment. Understanding what to build, for whom. And why? Clearly enough that an autonomous agent can execute on it. The skills that made someone excellent in 2020 matter more now, not less. For everyone, adequate is no longer a viable career position, because adequate is what the models do. But there's a deeper framework emerging for what this actually looks like as a practice. It starts with a picture of a bubble. But that's the simple part of the story. Everyone's talking about levels and frameworks. Let's go beyond it. Picture a bubble. The air inside is everything AI agents can do reliably today. The air outside is everything that still requires a person. The surface of that bubble, that thin membrane between the two, is where the interesting work is happening right now. As AI improves, the bubble inflates. Tasks that sat on the surface migrate inside. But notice what happens when a bubble expands. The surface area grows too. More boundary to operate at. More places for human judgment, not less. The frontier doesn't shrink. It expands. That surface has a name: frontier operations. The first workforce skill in history that expires on a roughly quarterly cycle and renews every time the bubble grows. 5 skills that persist across the expanding surface. Boundary sensing. Maintaining accurate intuition about where the human agent boundary sits today. not where it sat 3 months ago. Opus 4.5 couldn't retrieve from deep and long documents. 3 months later, Opus 4.6 scores 93%. The skill is maintaining calibration, not having it once. Seam design, structuring handoffs between human and agent so they're clean and recoverable. Which phases of a project are fully agent executable? Which ones need you in the loop? Failure model maintenance. Knowing how agents fail at the current edge. Not just that they fail, but which task type produces which failure mode. Capability forecasting. Reading the swells, not predicting the wave. Position where the next capability jump will land, like a surfer who reads the ocean, not a fortune teller who guesses the weather. Leverage calibration. Deciding where your attention creates the most value when you're overseeing dozens of agent streams at once. You cannot review everything at the same depth. The skill is triaging your own attention in real time. These are not a checklist. They are simultaneous, integrated, and continuous. A practice, like driving, involves steering, speed, route awareness, and hazard perception, all at the same time. These 5 operations are what separate the 2 worlds we started with. The people on the surface of the bubble from the people standing inside it. And here's why this can't be automated away. When a task migrates inside the bubble, the surface expands outward. The person who operates at the frontier moves with it. Here's the insight that ties both frameworks together. For decades, the bottleneck was implementation speed. That's what the entire industry optimized for. Headcount, tooling, sprints, story points. That bottleneck has moved. It's spec quality now. How precisely can you describe what you want to a machine that has no judgment and cannot ask a follow-up question? A bad prompt says, build me a login page. A good spec says, build a login endpoint. Return a JWT with 24-hour expiry. Reject bad credentials with a non-specific 401 to prevent user enumeration. And log every attempt to the audit table. Same goal. Completely different outcome. The dark factory doesn't reduce the demand for deep understanding. It makes it an absolute law. You now have 2 frameworks. 6 levels tell you where you are. 5 frontier operations tell you what to do about it. Go figure out which level you're actually on, and be honest about your boundary sense. If this changed how you think about where AI is taking the industry, pass it along. Share it with someone on your team who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more on AI native development. Are you operating at the frontier or standing inside the bubble? Drop your level in the comments.